Here we are at Tawharanui, just out of Auckland, New Zealand, and the beautiful view that you've just seen here. I'm here with Adam Abraham. We're going to have a little bit of a talk about health and water and sunshine and a few other bits and pieces, and we thought what better place to do it than out in nature itself. So Adam, why don't you jump in here and we'll get started.
All right, here I am about to jump. Tell me about the fantails as I walk around here. Is that what they call?
Yeah, little fantails.
Yeah.
Fantails are little birds, little tail on their back, and they're pretty friendly characters, and they are a good judge of character, is what they are. You know, if they're friendly and they feel a good vibration, they'll come on into the picture. Come on, you know, they'll come close.
Well, they're certainly watching.
Yeah, they're certainly watching.
We're being observed. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Maybe that's probably a good place to start too, because we're recognizing we're coming, well, gosh, come halfway around the world to recognize and to acknowledge a method of dealing with water, or treating water, that is not, well, it's not predominant these days, but it is a move toward nature again, toward natural ways. And so let's get started. We're talking about vortexing water.
Yeah. You know, I spoke this morning to a gentleman from down south, down the Ashburton way, who runs an irrigation and pump business, and you know, his business has sustainable water in it, and it's his business. And you know, when I explained to him what it did, and all I mentioned to him was that, you know, plants grow better with rainwater than they do with irrigated or tap water. And I explained to him, as the water falls through the atmosphere, vortexes towards the ground, and when it hits the ground with all that energy on board, that's why the plants grow so much better than they do with the other water. It made total sense to him.
Well, yeah, I think it may be that we often don't really give much thought. I mean, farmers have known this for years, that when it rains, they see growth. And when it doesn't rain and they use the water from the ground, even from a well or from an aquifer, they still don't, or a bore, they still don't see that kind of growth. And I don't know that anyone ever thought about it. I realize for me, it's only been about a year or so ago, if that long, that it was pointed out to me that every water molecule has an electrical properties, electrical potential, and I do know that wherever there's electrical potential, there's also magnetic. Now we know that water is not going to stick to a magnet, so if that magnetic is not the magnetic like a neodymium magnet or something like that, but if there's a term for it, it's called paramagnetic. And the electricity part is not going to, you know, shock you like if you put your finger in a socket, but they have a term for that. They call it piezoelectric, and that appears to be the energy of life. The piezoelectricity and the paramagnetic. We are all of that.
Yeah.
And so what a water molecule appears to be is a dynamo.
Transducer.
It's a transducer, but the electrical properties and the magnetic properties appear to be directly related to how fast it's moving.
Yeah.
You see, and the proof is that growth we see, and it's not just growth in farming. We see egg production in poultry, for example. One of these water units, Vortex units, have been put on a farm that had hens, and egg production went off the roof. And the hens actually drank less water.
Yeah.
And ate less food, and yet...
But they more effectively, they converted the feed they were eating into protein or into eggs or whatever that is.
And the eggs being made up largely of calcium, it delivered that calcium in a form that their bodies could actually use.
Yeah.
And apparently the water as it was prior to that wasn't delivering it in that same in that same state. We actually have a picture, before and after picture of the same chicken, and one picture is of a really sick chicken, and it turns out the other picture is that same chicken, but it's really looking good, it's healthy and everything else. And the only difference was one of these water units was placed on to vortex the water to restore the motion that's similar to rain. And
to wherever it is in nature. That vortex motion is something that's scalable. Think of your DNA helix, waves like here at the ocean, hurricanes. Hurricanes have the power and the energy to move big things, homes, cars, trucks, the power of Mother Nature. And then you take it to the next level and you're talking about the Milky Way. So that energy is very scalable and very powerful. And when it's introduced into water, great things happen.